So you want to start reading, but you cannot seem to enjoy it, and every time you start reading, after just 1 or 2 pages, you seem to get distracted and find yourself scrolling on social media. I get it, I've been there as well. And even when I was younger, I absolutely hated reading. Like, I didn't read anything at all. I even remember in school when you get those books that you have to read and write an essay about it. Well, I never read those. Either my mom read them for me and wrote something about it, or I just searched on the internet the most important points of the book and I just wrote them in my own words so that the teacher wouldn't see that I took it from the internet. I think in my entire life before I started reading, I maybe read like 6 books, and that is including Donald Ducks. And those books, I don't know if you know them, that you have like some certain pages with like pictures and you can rub your hand on it and it gives off a smell. Yeah, that was the only page I was looking for in that entire book. And so I know, right? But how can you go same as me from absolutely hating reading or never reading at all to like to read and reading every single day? So here's how I did it. So first things first, you want to start reading, but what books do you want to read? You need a book to read in order to read, right? Obviously. And so how do I find this out? I just ask myself a couple of questions in order to know which book I want to buy. So I'm going to ask you those questions, so grab a piece of paper and a pen or write them down on your phone. I don't really care, either one is fine. So first things is, what are my interests, right? Because it wouldn't make sense for me to scroll on Amazon looking for a book, you know, in the romance book section, even though I really don't like romance movies. And so I'm gonna buy this romance book. Why? I have no clue. So write down your interests and there you have it. Like, there you have already a few topics, right, for books maybe. Now another question you can ask yourself is, what do I want to learn, right? Do you want to learn about money? Do you want to learn about self-improvement? Like, I like self-improvement, I like money, so maybe I can buy self-improvement books. Maybe I can buy romance books. What the fuck? Maybe I can buy money books. Romance, alright. Okay, that got me off guard. Something else you can ask yourself is, are there any people I look up to? For example, I think David Goggins is a pretty dope dude, you know, the mindset and stuff. You know, I searched up, what does he read? Now, he probably reads not that much, I think he says, I don't know. But he has written a book, for example. Now I can buy that book. Or if you look up to Warren Buffett, you know, maybe he has written some books, or what books does he read? Something else that you can ask yourself is, what do I need to learn in order to become this or go to this place, right? If you want to become a doctor, maybe you can buy books about doctors or about surgeries or surgeons or whatever. And so if you have answered these questions, you now have quite a lot of subjects, hopefully, at least a few, in order to look for in books, right? So how do you look for them? Now, it's pretty easy. You can either look up on YouTube, right? You want to learn more about money. You search up top 20 books about money or top 5 books about self-improvement, right? And so now you have quite a few options for books already. And then you can look on Amazon and look at reviews and read those. So now you have your book and you can start reading. Wait. How much and how often should we read? More problems. Let me fix that for you. Reading goals. You should set reading goals. Now, what are reading goals? For example, I want to read every single day. Or I want to read one book every month or every 2 months, right? Those are reading goals. Now, I would advise you to start small like I did. I started with reading just 5 pages every single day, right? Because you want to get used to reading again, because you get used to reading in general. And so start small, 5 pages a day, 5 minutes a day, and then you can build them up. Now, why are reading goals important? Because they keep you accountable for reading, right? For example, make a to-do list. What I do, I make a to-do list or a get shit done list, and I said read book. So I have to read a book every single day, or at least like 1 chapter. And so it will help you keep accountable. And something that I advise avoiding is setting unrealistic goals, because that will do the exact opposite. For example, reading 100 pages every day, right? That's a lot of pages, and you're most likely just not gonna keep doing that. Maybe one day and then the second day you're gonna read, I'll just read 80 and see then you already gave up on your goal, sort of. Or for example, I want to read 100 books this year. And and there's people that do that, and it's possible, but it's just very unrealistic if you never read or you don't like reading as much. And so that will make sure that you are gonna be overwhelmed. So start small so that it doesn't overwhelm you. All right, so you're sitting on your bed and you're trying to read this book, but you just cannot seem to get into it. This book is boring to you. You think this book sucks and you just really don't like it, and now you're just moving all around the place just because it's like, why am I reading this book? That can happen, and that's okay. Now, I would say just stop reading the book, because if you cannot really like it at the moment, maybe the book was too complicated, or maybe the book was just not in your interest at the time. Now that's okay, you can try and read it again after a few weeks, a few months. And I understand, you're like, I paid for it, I want to read it. You can, but just not at the moment, because you're not gonna learn anything, right? If you're reading this book and you cannot get into it, you're just wasting your time. And time is more important than money, in my eyes at least, even though money is pretty important, but you know what I mean. Now you wanna stop reading the book because you cannot stay focused on it. So you're not gonna absorb anything from the book, you're not gonna really learn anything from the book, and you're wasting your time. So just start reading it again in a couple of weeks, couple of months. And then maybe then you can stay focused. Distractions. You cannot focus on reading if you're distracted all the time. So every reader has been there. They're reading their book, they hear a noise outside, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, look there, look here, right? And they cannot focus on reading. Everybody has been there. Now, what can we do to stop this? Find a nice and quiet place to read. For example, for me, that's my room. For you, this could be your bathroom or your living room. Doesn't really matter, just find a quiet place. I, for example, just close my door, close my window when I read, so that I don't get distracted by the noise outside. Now, the biggest problem, as we all know, is if your sister is singing in the shower and you cannot focus by the cat noise that you're hearing the whole time. Obviously, I'm kidding. No, the biggest problem of them all, the distraction device, your cell phone. So what I did was, whenever I'm gonna start reading, I just yeeted my phone there like Kobe and put it on silent mode, right? Don't forget to put it on silent mode, because you're gonna get distracted by all those notifications you're getting, right? You're a pretty cool person, obviously. And so put it on silent, throw it in the opposite direction, or put it in the opposite side of where you're reading, so it's far away from you and you won't get distracted by those thousands and thousands of notifications you get. Now, when you're done reading, you can grab your phone again, look at all those notifications. Like, I never got any notifications, obviously you're cooler than me. If you're also like that, I guess we're pretty similar. Do you by any chance also have anger issues? If so, you can watch this video here. That's how I controlled my anger. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe. Have an awesome day.